Hey, buddy, it's Bob with Trade Genius. I have my good friend Phil with me. So, we're going to talk Bitcoin. I mean, something really, really interesting is happening here at the all time highs. And I think this story is just getting started. So, pay attention. We'll be right back with you.
Trade Genius.
Hey everybody, Bob Trade Genius here. Peace, love, and Trade Genius. Spring into some savings with us right now. We got some great specials running. Market is in unprecedented areas right now. We think we got a good handle on it. Go to tradelikeagenius.com. Take advantage of our spring specials. Thanks for listening. See you later. Okay, Phil, when you and I were talking Bitcoin in 2017, we said, hey, only 3% of the world was even aware of Bitcoin. It was totally institutional. It left the hobbyists in 2015. And then we have a situation now where it's available to everybody. And I think it's time to take notice because I think things are going to get real here with Bitcoin land.
Yeah. And when Bob says it left the hobbyists in 2015, mining at home was a thing. And after that period of time, it really started to go into industrial mining and things like that. But, if you were around then, you're still an early adopter. But 2017 comes along, CME futures, we're all hopping up and down thinking that's great. Little did we know that would top the market at that time. But that's where, understanding where you are in terms of the halving and the halving cycles became a little bit more clear. But we were right in that the institutional money really would take this thing to the next level. And I know the dollar amounts a lot of us had in our head as far as where this could go was a lot lower. But then when we started thinking about in terms of institutional money flows globally, it became pretty apparent that the sky is the limit for Bitcoin. So just to kind of put things into perspective as we kind of get through the information here, this today it's just been nonstop with the institutional news and for all the FUD stuff that we've all had to endure with Bitcoin and the price of Bitcoin. And, it seems like every time Bitcoin would get a trend going, there'd be a wave of FUD that would come in, right? Now it's just all good news. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Merrill Lynch all said that they were going to allow their brokerage clients to buy the spot ETF through their services because not everybody was on board with that just yet. So everybody's kind of throwing in the towel as far as resisting it. So the barrier to entry is a lot, it's just getting lower and lower by the day. If we look at the ETF trading volume, when it first started out, it was okay. And then it kind of tapered off and it kind of ho-hum, but now it's just, cranked way up. The numbers and the stats on this stuff is amazing. I mean, it's setting records as far as what ETFs do. And it's already achieved half of the market cap for gold ETFs. I mean, I don't even know. That's incredible because gold ETFs have been around since 2004. So I think if you look at that, I think you have to really start looking at the entire market cap of gold, which depending on where we are in the year, but I think it's something around 8 to 10 trillion right at the moment. So if you're going to get even half of that, easily Bitcoin's well into the six figures on that. So, and again, we've been saying this stuff for years. ETF holdings over time. Already institutions, look at that. Right off the bat, we're cruising to 800,000 BTC. Mind you, there's only 2.3 million BTC on exchange balances. Of that, we really don't know how much of that's for sale because some of it could be in Coinbase Vault or just people are using the exchanges as a wallet, basically. So it's probably a lot less than 2.3 million of float out there. And we know that probably 17 million are probably not very liquid in terms of the entire supply, as well as there might not be much more than that in terms of 4 million or so were lost. Let's just say 3 to 4 million were lost because they just haven't moved in such a long time. They're likely gone forever, which is, realistic because a lot of people in the beginning, we didn't know what we were dealing with. Lose keys, this and that. People die, their keys go with them. So there's a lot less Bitcoin than 21 million, even though that's what's hard coded. So I think that's the stage for what comes next. And what comes next, you guys have already seen it. We're in full bull mode. And Bob, you worked up a chart with our sniper indicator here. I'm going to let you talk about it because this is exactly the environment where this stuff just prints money.
Yeah, so this is yesterday and today, 5-minute chart on Bitcoin. And it was interesting to me is that Phil and I we're just doing our regular trading day. And then I just would keep losing Phil. And you just hear these sounds in the background with these alarms going off and Phil mumbling to himself and flashing us, made $2,600 in 30 seconds. And I'm like, what? What the hell's going on? And he goes, Bob, check out the sniper and the Kona on the 5-minute. Look at these ranges. So I thought I'd share with you guys, this is one of our tools that we use. The blue on the bottom is if you see a circle and a triangle, that means it came out of a channel, came back in too far, too fast, and you get these reversals. And we literally had like 7 of them since yesterday morning, Phil. That is unbelievable. A lot of activity here at the high. So people are positioning. There's a group of people saying, hey, double top and retrace. There's another group of people saying double top, double up into over 100. And there's an absolute war going on right now. And I think personally, setting all this aside with the halving and everything, with the AI bubble, I think it effectively has burst. Those things haven't moved in a week. And that's unusual for supposed to be the brand new world. I think everybody shifted their money now into playing the Bitcoin game. And if this thing breaks that double top, Phil, I think all bets are off. And this is going to moon up to the fib lines we talked about the other day. The other thing that was really interesting to me is that all of a sudden, and you and I, we've talked about this for years now. And I think I'm the one maybe more vocal about anybody else. I said, hey, Bitcoin's a construct of, I think, of our intelligence agencies, our government, as some sort of liquidity sink or back up to the reserve dollar. And now all of a sudden this week, everybody and their brother, Edward Snowden, says, I think Bitcoin is being bought by a major government actor. Well, I mean, the United States already owns a lot of Bitcoin just because of what we seized. So, and if you add Satoshis to it, I could very easily see that the U.S. government is knee deep in this thing. But it doesn't really matter to me. Whoever is going to own these Bitcoins is going to have a little bit more of an interesting play on the new reserve. And I like to see how this is going to play out. And if you guys know me, I am not a Bitcoin crazy guy. I've always been skeptical of how this thing can go. But I'm becoming more and more of a believer here now that I see fiat across the world is starting to fall away. And somebody posted in our room how many dongs one Bitcoin can control. What, 1.5 million dongs now?
Billion with a B.
What's that?
Billion with a B.
Billions, yeah. So it's just absolutely crazy. But I want to show you this chart here is that people really struggle with where can Bitcoin go like on a trade. And we use these tools for the futures, and they beautifully manifested themselves to work with Bitcoin. So if you guys want this tool, you can easily buy it from us. You can join the room. Phil's given narrative blow by blow. People are making more money in these last 2 days trading with us than probably 10 years worth of what the service costs. So I think it's definitely worth your while to check us out and have a lot of fun doing it. It's exciting when the markets are moving. I don't care which direction, we just want action, and our toolkit can help you either way. So Phil, with that, I thought it'd be fun to do a Bitcoin update today. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin a lot in the next 60 days because I think something really magical is going to happen here one way or the other.
Yeah, and in terms of like the recent price support, basically we're looking at 60K's kind of flip to support here, and this stuff happens really fast. We're in an impulse move, and if you guys aren't familiar with Bitcoin impulse moves, they will typically last several days. So just because you're up 4 big green daily bars, don't think you can get another 3 or 4 without much of a pullback. So pullbacks are brief. If you see a red 4-hour bar, that's probably all you're going to get. It's just this is the mode it's in, and then it'll probably exhaust up higher. And who knows, like Bob said, maybe we'll get all-time highs going into tomorrow, because as you guys can see, this thing can move $5,000 in a day, and that would be very close to an all-time high if we had a day like that. So we'll have to see how that goes, but I think it's a matter of when, not if, on that. And I think we are actually going to break out much like we did in the S&P 500, and we'll see probably a push into high 70s. And then ultimately, I think, we may get an extended breather after that, because March typically sees consolidation in Bitcoin no matter what. But after March, I think all markets, energy, stocks, AI, this is where we go into that blow off phase. And it should be very exciting, and you guys should be able to really grow some money in your portfolios. But that's where I think the boys get separated from the men after that, because it's going to be very dicey. And if you're not good with technicals, you may not recognize that the market's quietly putting in a top, and we'll see how the macro data looks like, as we come into June. So anyway, that's kind of the big picture as we depart here. But yeah, Bob, I think very bullish for a lot of people here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, stay tuned, because I think a lot of money is going to be made. And people who aren't paying attention could lose it all. So It's really, really focused on your portfolios. Whether you work with us or not, these next 60 days will probably make or break your portfolio for years to come. And I'm being dead serious.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on the price of Bitcoin. Are you a Bitcoiner? Are you a no coiner? And let us know where you think the price is going to go in this cycle. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Hey, if you're interested in these indicators that Bob was sharing with you, head over to tradegenius.co. We have an indicator section that you can get like the sniper and the Kona buys and things like that. And we also have our packages if you want to join us in the room. So check that out over at tradegenius.co. Otherwise, thanks, Bob. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.
Trade Genius.